Alright, greetings and salutations, Internet. This is your friendly and local, neighborhood Vespairty going around doing stuff. So today is a very, very special day. I'm doing a time-lapse, which has been, requested of me a lot by Socks, my Discord friend. So I went ahead and did one just to put it out there. This is an incomplete time-lapse. The amount of time it takes me to do just about anything is absolutely extraordinary, frustrating. There's a lot of redundant things that I do that I probably don't have to do, but that I do anyway. So you'll notice that this time-lapse starts with an actual drawing already sort of kind of set, and I'm sort of working on colors here. Again, I just take a long time to do anything. Also, I do everything on my phone, so everything is on my phone on this Autodesk sketchbook app. It's really, 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 really great, and I love it. But at the same time, that means that my time-lapse recordings can kind of just go somewhere, and then I don't know where they are. So here we are. These two characters in particular are some of my newer D&D characters. This is Dasmir and Versailles. They are two tieflings of various different subraces of tiefling. I completely forget which one I made Versailles. Really the violent one that starts with a Z. And I'm gonna probably get a lot of nick for that in the comments, but I'm a nerd, I'm just sometimes not that good of a nerd. And the other one is Dasmir. Dasmir is a Dispater tiefling. He is a merchant rogue, in other words. And his whole goal in life is to make a business, have it be profitable, and one day maybe have a little cottage by the sea. Versailles, I don't think, agreed with that, though they have survived through thick and thin together. They've done everything that they could together. They sort of rewrote the odds of what their world was going to be together through all of this war and adversity. And for over 10 years, they survived together, just the two of them, like scraping to get by and finally building a home. And it was at that time that Versailles went missing. He just didn't come home one day. All of his stuff was left, and the Adventurers Guild had not seen him. The local Mercenaries Guild had not seen him, and Dasmir spent the next 3 years searching through morgues and any sort of tiefling body that would come in fear that this empire, bred by a tyrannical king that has sort of been killing off a lot of people, he was afraid that they had gotten him. Eventually, he got word that maybe that was not the case. He got an anonymous tip that maybe he could find what he needed with the Resistance, which is not the group that he agrees with. He does not believe in fighting for a dead kingdom. He believes in fighting for the people of the now and building rather than being held back by these old idealizations of the past. If you have a reason to fight now, if you have a dream that you are fighting for now, then it shouldn't be beholden to any sort of past gallantry. You're not beholden to an ancient king. You're not beholden to an ancient kingdom or ideal. You're beholden to a future that you want to scrap and make yourself. So that's kind of where we are. Now, some of the things I use to draw this. As you can see, I do a lot of blending. I do not have a very good grasp on dark tones or anything like that. I have actually never had an actual art class since high school in my life. I don't know how to use Photoshop. I don't know how to use a lot of things that a lot of other people do know how to use through hard work and paid classes and toiling and student debt and all that. So I kind of do everything I can do for free on a basic level that way. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually going through and I'm sort of trying to darken some shadows, blend in some lines, make it look a little bit softer, a little bit more natural than it does. I have problems doing more serious work because my coloring just looks so 2D and childish, but I'm working on it. I'm getting there. And this actual piece did come out very, very well. So now I'm actually working on the horns here. I love horns. I love putting horns on like everything. If something can have horns, I want to put horns on it. Like that's just it's just a given. So what I'm going through here is I'm kind of softening up the lines. Right now I'm working on the jewelry, getting that done because that's going to be an overlayer of the actual horn itself. I'm going through with a bit of different colors. An old art teacher of mine once said that if you're going to color anything, you have to use at least 3 colors because everything has at least 3 colors in it. It's never just one color. And so I'm going through with some darker yellows, some lighter yellows, trying to sort of give off this gold vibe. It looks like fire in the end, or it looks like a very, very gaudy sort of gold, but I'm very happy with it. The fun fact is that Dasmir gifted Versailles these sort of horn ornaments and a set of earrings that he got with his first merchant's paycheck. It was the first time they had been stable. And so Dasmir wanted to do something nice for Versailles, something that Versailles wouldn't break on like the first day, in case you don't understand where I'm going with that, because I didn't make it clear at all. Versailles is a barbarian. He rages, but it's sort of this cold and calculated rage. So he's got like these little golden things that he treasures from Dasmir that adorn his horns, and they sort of fit perfectly and just stay on there. And his horns have kind of grown around it. And now I'm doing shading on these horns. I'm using a darker black. The Autodesk Sketchbook app has Copic markers that you can use to color things. And typically I don't like using the Copic markers. I have been using them lately because I kind of wanted to get a feel for that sort of color depth. I thought maybe if I had some preset colors that it would help me. But usually I use a color wheel, and I just search through the color wheel, and it's so hard to get another color again. It just took me too long to figure out that I could have a layer on here that just had all of my little color samples, and that I could just go to it whenever I needed to get the color that I used to have. But I'm not that organized. So I did have a blue background. I made a blue background with some other stuff, and I'm sort of using it as I was drawing, as I was like doing a lot of the forecoloring for this. Were like the planning. I had planned it out that I would have this blue background and I would just leave the blue background on and I would do it, because a thing that a piece that I did before, I put a colored background on it and discovered that, oh my god, this actually helps me make my colors while I'm coloring make sense on this piece if I'm actually going to do something like cell shading, and just doing full colors layer upon layer upon layer on top of each other. I'm now working on Dasmir's little horns. Originally, Dasmir was supposed to sort of be like a white-haired tiefling. He was going to be sort of a little bit more on the side of albino with these striking sort of blue-green eyes. Sort of a visage where you couldn't really tell if he was like a boy or a girl. Because Dasmir is very, very pretty. He's very charismatic. He's very kind and very sweet. And he just believes that there is merit to peace and to peaceful resolutions over other things, and that if you have to get past the stage of talking, then maybe you should have a Versailles at your back. This is what makes them such a great duo to work with. And so I went through his horns with a few different colors. I kind of really struggled with this a little bit because I kind of messed up just a little bit. But I fixed that. I fixed it. It's fine. I used a few different colors. I used Arctic blue, I used frost green, I used some different semblances of like a cool white, I went through with a Prussian blue, and of course I went in there and did the little lines. I like shading lines. I love doing shading on like horns and stuff with like little grooves. I don't know why, I just really love that. And it works really well when I'm doing hair too. At the end of this video I'll put a picture of the finished product, which kind of really came out. It's really banging. And if you can't tell, I'm actually recording this separately from when I'm doing time-lapse. The thing about Autodesk Sketchbook is it does not have the ability to record vocals, and nor would I want to on my phone. I have a very, very good sound program on my computer called Wavepad Master's Edition by NCH Software. It's pretty great. I really love it. And of course I have like a Blue Yeti microphone and stuff like that from when I was first getting on to online D&D. My town, it turns out, does not have a lot of D&D players, and the ones that are here already have like a very established group of like 6 players that constantly play all the time, and I work, so I can't really do that. So I just did online, and that's really opened me up to making more characters and creating more things. There was a period of time where I didn't draw for something like 2 years. Depression's bitch. So I didn't really improve. Every time after that, it became a thing where I would maybe draw sometimes, maybe I doodle sometimes, but mostly I didn't go through with it. I would start something and then never finish it, which is, you know, par for the course a lot of the time. But I did eventually finish it, and here it is. Ta-da! Look how beautiful it is. Alright, so things didn't exactly work out that way. I was lying. We have more horns to look at. They're some pretty nice horns. I guess when I was recording this, I didn't take into account that I was going to be doing some editing on the actual audio, and so now there's time left over. But I suppose that's fine. So yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know, and here it is.